Chapter 10, Cultural Sensitivity and Global Leadership. In today's interconnected and rapidly changing world, leaders must navigate an environment that transcends national borders, cultural norms, and traditional practices. With globalization influencing every aspect of society, cultural sensitivity and global leadership have emerged as indispensable components of effective leadership. In this chapter, we delve into the multifaceted dimensions of cultural sensitivity, explore the challenges and opportunities inherent in global leadership, and emphasize practical strategies that leaders can embrace to succeed in a diverse, complex world. Understanding cultural sensitivity. Cultural sensitivity is the awareness, understanding, and respect for cultural differences in beliefs, values, practices, and communication styles. It is a recognition that no one culture holds a monopoly on wisdom, and that each cultural context offers unique perspectives that can enrich one's understanding of the world. For leaders, this means acknowledging diversity as a source of strength rather than an obstacle to overcome. Defining cultural sensitivity. At its core, cultural sensitivity involves an open-minded approach to the differences that exist among people. It requires leaders to step outside their own cultural paradigms and to engage with individuals from varied backgrounds on their own terms. This approach is critical when making decisions, managing teams, and negotiating with international partners. A culturally sensitive leader does not merely tolerate differences, but actively seeks to understand them, recognizing that doing so leads to more inclusive, innovative, and effective problem solving. The importance of cultural sensitivity for leaders. The importance of cultural sensitivity in leadership cannot be overstated. As markets expand and workforces become more diverse, leaders who lack cultural awareness risk alienating key stakeholders and missing opportunities for collaboration. Without cultural sensitivity, a leader might inadvertently impose norms or practices that are at odds with local customs, leading to misunderstandings, conflicts, or even financial losses. Conversely, by embracing cultural sensitivity, leaders create environments where diversity is celebrated and team members feel valued for who they are. This inclusivity leads to higher morale, increased creativity, and ultimately improved organizational performance. Real-world case studies. Consider multinational corporations that have thrived by honoring cultural differences. For instance, some global companies have tailored their marketing strategies to match the cultural nuances of various regions, respecting local traditions and consumer preferences. Leadership that has demonstrated cultural sensitivity has managed supply chains, customer relations, and employee engagement with remarkable success. Leaders who understand that business practices vary across cultures have implemented flexible policies that account for local holidays, social customs, and even religious practices. Such adaptability not only builds trust among local partners but also cultural sensitivity and global leadership, reinforces the organization's global reputation. Global leadership, expanding beyond borders. Global leadership is about more than simply managing geographically dispersed teams. It requires a deep understanding of the complex social, economic, and political dynamics that influence various regions of the world. Global leaders are tasked with navigating diverse regulatory environments, bridging cultural divides, and creating unified goals in fragmented marketplaces. The nature of global leadership. Leaders in the global arena must possess a strategic vision that incorporates an understanding of international trends. They must comprehend that the competitive landscape is no longer defined solely by local or regional markets, but by global forces. Such leaders think beyond their immediate environment and are proactive in identifying emerging markets, technological innovations, and shifts in political and economic power. Global leadership demands a balance between standardizing best practices across different regions while remaining adaptive to local differences. Challenges faced by global leaders. Global leadership comes with an array of challenges that require both resilience and creativity. Communication issues, language barriers, and cultural misunderstandings rank high among the obstacles. For instance, a gesture or phrase that is benign in one culture might be offensive in another. Global leaders must therefore invest time in learning about the linguistic and social nuances that characterize the regions in which they operate. Political instability, economic volatility, and regulatory discrepancies further complicate global leadership. Leaders are often required to adjust strategies swiftly in response to geopolitical events, trade wars, or shifts in currency values. The ability to maintain organizational stability during times of global uncertainty is a core competency of an effective global leader. Opportunities through global leadership. While the challenges are significant, the opportunities in global leadership are equally expansive. In a diverse environment, the flow of ideas and innovations is accelerated through the cross-pollination of perspectives. Global leaders who harness cultural differences can foster environments where creativity thrives, leading to breakthrough innovations that have a competitive advantage on the world stage. Additionally, by understanding and respecting cultural nuances, organizations can enter new markets more successfully and build strong international alliances. Developing cultural competence. Cultural competence is a journey rather than a destination. It involves continuous learning, self-reflection, and the willingness to step outside one's comfort zone. Leaders must actively seek to enhance their own cultural competence as well as that of their teams. Self-awareness and personal biases. An essential first step to cultural competence is developing self-awareness concerning our own cultural identities and biases. Every leader is shaped by personal experiences, education, and community norms. Recognizing these influences helps leaders understand cultural sensitivity and global leadership, how their perspectives might differ from those of others. Leaders can undertake self-assessments and seek feedback from peers and mentors to uncover subconscious biases. This process is not about feeling guilty for having biases, but about understanding them, mitigating their impact, and cultivating a more balanced viewpoint. Learning from experience and education. Formal training and education offer significant benefits in developing cultural competence. Workshops, cross-cultural courses, language classes, and immersive experiences in different cultures can hone a leader's ability to interact with diverse groups effectively. Organizations can further support this growth by encouraging participation in international conferences, exchange programs, or collaborative projects that connect leaders across cultures. Reading widely about global history, sociology, and cultural studies can also expand one's comprehension of cultural differences. Embracing vulnerability. Cultural sensitivity requires vulnerability, the openness to make mistakes and learn from them. Leaders who are willing to admit when they do not understand a cultural reference or nuance set an example for their teams. That learning and growth come from embracing imperfection. By fostering a safe space for questions and discussions about cultural diversity, organizations can promote an atmosphere where cultural learning is continuous and collaborative. Communication in a global context. Effective communication is the bridge that connects cultural sensitivity to successful global leadership. Communication strategies must be tailored to diverse audiences, emphasizing clarity, empathy, and respect. Breaking down language barriers. Language is one of the most intricate areas of cultural complexity. While English may serve as a lingua franca in many international business contexts, not every stakeholder is proficient. Leaders must take steps to ensure that language does not become a barrier, such as offering translation services or learning key phrases in the languages of their target markets. Even small gestures, like greeting someone in their native language, can build rapport and show respect for cultural heritage. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal cues, including body language, eye contact, gestures, and even silence, vary widely across cultures. For example, the degree of direct eye contact appropriate in communication differs significantly among cultures. In some Eastern societies, prolonged eye contact might be seen as confrontational, while in Western countries, it is often interpreted as a sign of confidence and honesty. Global leaders must be attuned to these subtleties to ensure that their messages are received as intended. Digital communication in a multicultural world. The rise of digital communication platforms has made it easier than ever to connect with people around the globe. However, it has also introduced new challenges in interpreting tone and intent across different cultural contexts. Global leaders should leverage technology while being mindful of how digital interactions might cultural sensitivity and global leadership be perceived differently. When using emails, video conferences, or messaging apps, clarity and context are crucial. Providing detailed agendas, summaries, and follow-up questions can help bridge potential gaps in understanding. Fostering inclusive global teams. Creating and managing multicultural teams requires an intentional approach to inclusivity that recognizes and values diversity as an asset. Leaders must craft strategies that empower every team member, regardless of cultural background, to contribute fully to the organization's goals. Building trust in diverse teams. Trust is the foundation of any effective team, and it takes on additional layers of complexity in multicultural settings. Leaders can build trust by establishing clear communication protocols, offering team building exercises that appreciate cultural diversity, and being transparent about decisions and their reasoning. Trust is bolstered when team members see that cultural differences are represented in leadership and that their perspectives inform decision-making processes. Navigating conflicts arising from cultural differences. Inevitable misunderstandings can occur when diverse perspectives intersect. A leader who is adept at conflict resolution will approach these differences with sensitivity. Rather than imposing uniform solutions, the focus should be on facilitating dialogue that seeks to understand the reasons behind differing viewpoints. Leaders must mediate discussions with impartiality, ensuring that personal biases do not cloud their judgment. By addressing conflicts constructively, global leaders can turn cultural differences into catalysts for creative problem solving. Leveraging diversity for organizational success. Diverse teams, when managed well, can significantly outperform homogeneous groups. The cross-cultural exchange of ideas leads to innovative solutions, enhances problem-solving capabilities, and increases the adaptability of the organization. Global leaders should encourage collaboration through intercultural projects, cross-training sessions, and exchange programs that expose team members to different perspectives. By consciously integrating diversity into the framework of the organization's strategy, leaders create a resilient and forward-thinking enterprise. Global leadership in practice. Effective global leadership goes beyond theoretical knowledge about cultures and communication. It demands action, strategic decision-making, and an unwavering commitment to ethical principles. Here are some practical approaches that leaders can use to excel in the global arena. Strategic vision and long-term planning. A critical trait of successful global leaders is the ability to envision the long-term trajectory of their organization amid global trends. This includes anticipating shifts in market conditions, understanding competitive forces, and recognizing the cultural trends that may affect consumer behavior. Leaders must integrate cultural insights into strategic planning, ensuring that their visions cultural sensitivity, and global leadership are both globally relevant and locally adaptable. This dual approach allows organizations to remain agile and responsive in a constantly evolving global environment. Ethical considerations and corporate social responsibility. Global leaders have a heightened responsibility to act ethically as their decisions reverberate across national boundaries. Ethical leadership in a global context involves ensuring that business practices are fair, sustainable, and culturally sensitive. Leaders must weigh the local impact of their global strategies, avoiding actions that could inadvertently harm local communities or traditions. Corporate social responsibility initiatives should be designed not only to improve the bottom line, but also to support environmental sustainability, social justice, and community development across all regions where the organization operates. Embracing change and innovation. The global landscape is marked by rapid technological advancements and shifting societal paradigms. To maintain relevance, leaders must be proactive in adopting new technologies and innovative practices while being respectful of cultural contexts. Global leaders need to foster a culture that encourages experimentation and embraces change, yet couples this openness with a solid grounding in the values and traditions of the communities they serve. By championing innovation that harmonizes with cultural sensitivity, leaders ensure that their organizations remain dynamic and future-ready. Navigating geopolitical challenges. Operating on a global scale means dealing with diverse legal systems, economic policies, and political climates. Global leaders must develop a nuanced understanding of these geopolitical factors and incorporate them into their decision-making processes. This often involves collaborating with local experts, engaging in diplomatic dialogue with government officials, and staying abreast of international regulations that may affect operations. Effective global leaders adopt flexible strategies that can adjust to national political instabilities or economic fluctuations without compromising the organization's core values. Case examples of inspiring global leadership. Several prominent leaders have demonstrated the benefits of cultural sensitivity in global leadership. Consider a multinational technology company that not only embraces diverse workforces around the world, but also designs products tailored to local needs. Such companies invest deeply in understanding the unique cultural contexts in which they operate and subsequently create strategies that resonate with local consumers. Similarly, global non-governmental organizations have successfully navigated cultural complexities by empowering local leaders, thereby ensuring that their initiatives are culturally grounded and sustainable. Embracing the future. The evolving role of cultural sensitivity and global leadership. The future of leadership is inexorably linked to an ability to understand and navigate cultural complexity. As technological advances make the world even more interconnected through virtual cultural sensitivity and global leadership, teams, digital marketplaces, and transnational partnerships, the demand for leaders who are both culturally sensitive and globally oriented will intensify. Digital transformation and cultural nuances. In the age of digital transformation, virtual platforms have become crucial forums for global interaction. For leaders, this presents both opportunities and challenges. Virtual environments can help bridge geographical distances, but they also require a new set of skills to manage cultural nuances online. For example, communication on social media or collaborative platforms may not carry the same non-verbal cues found face-to-face interactions, necessitating a greater emphasis on clear, empathetic language and an awareness of cultural interpretations of digital content. Embracing digital tools while ensuring that cultural intelligence remains at the forefront is rapidly becoming a key metric for modern global leadership. The role of leadership in shaping a global culture. Global leaders not only influence the strategic direction of their organizations, they also shape the cultural fabric of the global workforce. By promoting values of respect, inclusivity, and fairness, leaders help build an international culture that values diverse perspectives and collaborative practices. This in turn creates a ripple effect, encouraging societies to move towards greater tolerance, reducing cultural biases, and fostering global cooperation. In a world fraught with polarization, ethical global leadership has the potential to be a unifying force, weaving together the threads of diverse cultural narratives into a cohesive story of shared human progress. Training the next generation of global leaders. Finally, as the current generation of global leaders looks to the future, the importance of mentoring and training cannot be overstated. Future leaders need specialized training that includes both theoretical and experiential learning in cultural sensitivity. Programs that immerse future leaders in different cultural settings, provide opportunities for international collaboration, and integrate critical global issues into the leadership curriculum will be pivotal. By investing in the development of tomorrow's leaders today, organizations and societies ensure that the values of inclusivity, empathy, and cultural intelligence continue to guide global leadership in decades to come. Conclusion. In summary, cultural sensitivity and global leadership together form a powerful paradigm that is essential in today's diverse and interconnected world. Leaders today must go beyond traditional management skills to embrace a holistic understanding of cultural differences and the global forces that shape our shared future. Through continuous learning, self-reflection, and a commitment to ethical practice, leaders can bridge cultural divides, forge strong international partnerships, and inspire their teams to achieve excellence across borders. Successful global leadership is not merely a function of managing international operations. It is about crafting a vision that harmonizes diverse perspectives, fosters innovation, and builds resilient organizations that are prepared to tackle the unpredictable nature of global challenges. Whether it is through facilitating inclusive dialogue, adapting strategies to local cultural contexts, cultural sensitivity, and global leadership, or harnessing the power of digital tools to connect global teams, culturally sensitive leaders are the architects of a more unified and prosperous future. In the final analysis, the legacy of a leader is determined not only by the success of their initiatives, but by the positive impact they create across the many cultures they encounter. By embodying both cultural sensitivity and global leadership, you demonstrate that leadership is a responsibility that transcends geography. It is a commitment to understanding, to learning, and to leading in a way that honors the rich tapestry of human experience and promotes sustainable, inclusive growth for generations to come. As you continue on your leadership journey, remember that every interaction is an opportunity to learn something new about the world and yourself. Embrace diversity as a source of strength, involve your team in building bridges across cultures, and always be prepared to adapt in an ever-changing global landscape. Your role as a leader is not only to drive organizational success, but to pave the way for a more interconnected, more empathetic, and ultimately more successful global community. By adopting the principles outlined in this chapter, cultural sensitivity in thought and action, and a broad strategic vision for global leadership, you set yourself apart as a leader who is prepared to meet the demands of our complex world. In doing so, you help foster an organizational culture that is agile, inclusive, and equipped to thrive in the global arena, laying the groundwork for enduring success and a legacy that truly makes a difference. This comprehensive exploration into cultural sensitivity and global leadership underscores the vital importance of adapting to diversity in today's ever-evolving world. Leaders who master these competencies not only enhance their own effectiveness, but also contribute to a more equitable, innovative, and prosperous global society. Cultural sensitivity and global leadership. Chapter summary. Cultural sensitivity and global leadership emphasizes the critical role of cultural awareness in effective leadership, particularly in a globalized world. The chapter explores how leaders must navigate diverse cultural landscapes to foster collaboration, build trust, and achieve organizational goals. It highlights that cultural sensitivity is not just a soft skill, but a strategic necessity for leaders operating in multicultural environments. The chapter begins by defining cultural sensitivity as the ability to recognize, respect, and adapt to cultural differences without imposing one's own cultural norms. It underscores the importance of understanding cultural values, communication styles, and social norms, which vary widely across regions and influence how people perceive leadership, authority, and teamwork. Key themes discussed include: 1. The impact of cultural awareness on leadership. Leaders who are culturally sensitive can better connect with diverse teams, avoid misunderstandings, and create inclusive environments where everyone feels valued. This fosters innovation and productivity. 2. Adapting leadership styles. The chapter explains that effective global leaders must be flexible in their leadership approaches, tailoring their strategies to align with the cultural expectations of their teams. For example, a participative leadership style may work well in egalitarian cultures, while a more directive approach might be preferred in hierarchical societies. 3. Overcoming cultural biases. The chapter addresses the challenges of unconscious biases and ethnocentrism, which can hinder a leader's ability to engage with diverse groups. It provides practical strategies for self-reflection, active listening, and seeking diverse perspectives to overcome these biases. 4. Building cross-cultural competence. The chapter outlines steps for developing cross-cultural competence, including learning about different cultures, practicing empathy, and fostering open communication. It also emphasizes the importance of cultural intelligence, CQ, as a key leadership trait. 5. Case studies and real-world examples. The chapter includes examples of successful global leaders who have demonstrated cultural sensitivity, as well as cautionary tales of leaders who failed to adapt to cultural differences, leading to conflict or failure. The chapter concludes by reinforcing that cultural sensitivity is a continuous learning process. Leaders must remain curious, adaptable, and committed to understanding the evolving dynamics of global cultures. By doing so, they can inspire trust, drive collaboration, and lead effectively in an interconnected world. In summary, cultural sensitivity and global leadership provides a comprehensive guide for leaders to navigate cultural diversity with empathy and strategic insight, ensuring their leadership is impactful and inclusive on a global scale. Cultural sensitivity and global leadership. Task for readers task overview. As a leader in today's interconnected world, developing cultural sensitivity and global leadership skills is essential for fostering inclusive environments and driving organizational success. This task is designed to help you reflect on your current practices, enhance your cultural competence, and implement strategies that promote effective global leadership. Task steps. 1. Self-reflection on cultural awareness. Take a moment to reflect on your own cultural background and experiences. Write down 3 key aspects of your culture that shape your values and leadership style. Identify any biases or assumptions you may hold about other cultures. Consider how these biases might affect your interactions with diverse team members. 2. Research and learn. Choose a culture that is different from your own and spend some time researching it. Focus on aspects such as communication styles, values, traditions, and business practices. Write a brief summary, approximately 200 words, of what you learned and how this knowledge can inform your leadership approach. 3. Engage with diverse perspectives. Schedule a meeting or informal coffee chat with a colleague or team member from a different cultural background. Prepare open-ended questions to encourage discussion about their experiences and perspectives. After the conversation, reflect on what you learned and how it can enhance your understanding of cultural sensitivity in your leadership role. 4. Develop a cultural sensitivity action plan. Create a personal action plan that outlines specific steps you will take to improve your cultural sensitivity and global leadership skills. Consider including training or workshops you will attend, books or articles you will read on cultural competence and global leadership, opportunities for cross-cultural collaboration within your organization. Set measurable goals and timelines for each action item. Implement and share. Choose one strategy from your action plan to implement within the next month. This could involve initiating a team discussion on cultural diversity, organizing a cultural awareness workshop, cultural sensitivity and global leadership, or participating in a community service project that supports diverse populations. After implementing your strategy, share your experiences and insights with your team. Encourage open dialogue about cultural sensitivity and its importance in your organization. Continuous learning. Commit to ongoing learning about cultural sensitivity and global leadership. Set a goal to engage in at least one new learning opportunity each quarter, whether through formal training, reading, or networking with diverse leaders. Conclusion. By completing this task, you will enhance your cultural sensitivity and global leadership skills, positioning yourself as a more effective and inclusive leader. Embrace the journey of learning and growth, and remember that every interaction is an opportunity to deepen your understanding of the rich tapestry of cultures that shape our world. Stepping into the future requires boldness. True leaders thrive in uncertainty, crafting innovative strategies and charting new courses that redefine what is possible. Sustainable growth and long-term vision